First up is Mystra's Blessing. Mystra's Blessing makes you immune to fire, acid, cold, force, and thunder damage unless the damage dealt exceeds 10 points. This condition can only be earned if you are playing as a Gale origin character and after you defeat one of the Thorms in Act 2 and you refuse to consume the Shadow Weave. Instead of gaining a permanent level 3 Shadow spell slot, you'll get Mystra's Blessing. This buff is unfortunately similar to Mystra's Benevolence in that it will fade after a long rest, whereas the level 3 Shadow spell slot is permanent. So choosing to consume the Shadow Weave might be a better choice long term unless this condition becomes permanent in the future. Number 2 is Dip. Dip allows you to enhance your weapon by dipping it into a surface, but where this really shines is with poisons. If you coat your weapon with a poison, you'll only get it for 10 turns, but if you throw the poison on the ground and then dip your weapon into that is going to last until long rest. Not only do you get your poison for a much longer time, but other party members can then also dip their weapons into the poison, granting them the same bonus until long rest, effectively increasing the value of your poison by up to 4 times if every party member dips their weapon. So remember, next time before you coat your weapon with poison, throw it on the ground instead and dip your weapons. Number 3 is the Peculiar Lamp. This item is found in the basement of Sorcerer's Sundries, also known as the Vault, hidden past a illusory door which is right behind the first treasure chest you run into on your left. When you touch the Peculiar Lamp, you'll be teleported inside and greeted by a genie who thanks you for rescuing him because you're now trapped in the lamp. Inside of it is a ton of scrolls, potions, and other treasure, including a scroll of Summon Quasit. If you summon the Quasit, then you are teleported out and now your poor Quasit is trapped. This works for any summon, so if you want to use a Conjured Familiar to escape, you can. However, what's neat about the Peculiar Lamp is that it's actually a really fast way to make 1,000 gold. If you use a summon to touch the lamp initially, you'll be greeted by the genie on his way out. He'll pity you, saying you must be lost after your master is now trapped in the lamp, but if you explain that you sent a summon in, he'll applaud you for your ingenuity and give you 1,000 gold. So not only is it a fun interaction, but it's also an area filled with potions, scrolls, and 1,000 gold. Alright, number 4 is Hold Person. Hold Person is a level 2 enchantment spell that holds a humanoid still. They can't move, act, or react. If you enter a dialogue with a traitor and then switch to another character and then cast Hold Person on that traitor, the Hold Person spell will stay at 10 turns permanently and not go down as long as you have a character remain in dialogue. This is perfect for having an infinite amount of time to pickpocket that merchant since they are permanently locked within Hold Person. Just cast Fog if there are other NPCs nearby and pickpocket everything the merchant has. As a bonus, you can even split their big stack of gold into smaller stacks within the bartering menu so you can have a higher chance at succeeding when pickpocketing. And number 5 is Mark of the Shifter. Mark of the Shifter grants a plus 1d4 bonus to all checks while shapeshifting or disguised. This is granted from the Shapeshifter's Boon Ring. This ring can be found on the Strange Ox, but what the ring doesn't say is that you keep the bonus after you unequip the ring. So if you have the Mask of the Shapeshifter, which grants the wearer shapeshift magically change all aspects of your appearance, then you can equip both the ring and the helm, shapeshift, and then pass both items to the next character in your group. Rinse and repeat for all characters in your party, and everyone will have a plus 1d4 bonus to all checks permanently. But you'll have to be okay with staying in your shapeshifted form, since once you leave that, you'll lose the Mark of the Shifter. And if you like that tip, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more Baldur's Gate 3 videos. And number 6 is Relentless Revenge. Now, Relentless Revenge is granted from the Blooded Great Axe. When the wielder has 50% hit points or less, they will deal an additional 1 to 4 slashing damage. Now, what makes this effect spectacular is that the extra 1d4 slashing damage is added as a secondary source of damage that will cause all other plus damage modifiers to activate a second time, whether that be from poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder. As you see in this clip, there are a ton of numbers appearing when using Smite. But if that wasn't enough, Great Axes also have the ability to Prepare, which sacrifices 6 meters of movement speed to deal an additional 3 slashing damage this turn. This 3 extra slashing damage is also a separate damage source, which will get all of your damage modifiers added yet again. So for example, if you hex a target, then prepare, and are at 50% or less health with the Blooded Great Axe, then this means that your attack will cause the hex damage 3 times, and all of your other modifiers as well. This is a great case for great axes in general, but specifically the blooded great axe to get even more extra damage, and you can easily get your character immediately to half health using the Illithid Power Transfuse Health, and you're ready to go and get all that sweet bonus action. Number 7 is Mourning Frost. This is a very rare quarterstaff which grants Heart of Ice and Insidious Cold. When dealing cold damage, the wielder deals 1 additional cold damage, and dealing cold damage with a spell possibly inflicts chilled upon the target. Chilled grants vulnerability to cold damage, which means it deals double damage. This staff is very interesting, I think, because of how it's found. Within the Underdark, there are 3 items that need to be combined in order to assemble this staff: the Icy Crystal, Icy Metal, and Icy Helve. Each of these items are found in different places within the Underdark. The Icy Helve is found on Dorne, the Petrified Drow, west of the Selûnite Outpost near the Spectator. The Icy Metal is found on the Pale Corpse inside the Myconid colony behind the Guardian Gate, and the Icy Crystal is found on Filro the Forgotten near the Surser Tree. Once you have all 3, you can just right click and combine them into this amazing weapon. And as a bonus while you're there, don't forget to pick up Surser Bark. You can actually use this to create a masterwork weapon which silences on hit in the Blighted Village, and that can be a dagger, greatsword, or sickle. And number 8 is the Eversight Ring and True Love's Embrace. Now, Eversight Ring blew my mind when I found it. It grants blind immunity. The wearer cannot be blinded. Now, considering how debilitating blind can be on a ranged character, I knew who would be getting this ring. Now, to find this ring, there is a morgue hidden in Act 2 directly west of the House of Healing. There's a lot of treasure to be found in there, but this ring is one of the best that, in my opinion, could last you the whole game. The other item is actually a combination of 2 rings, True Love's Caress and True Love's Embrace. Both of these are also found in Act 2. True Love's Caress can be found on a skeleton in the graveyard, and True Love's Embrace on a skeleton laying on a mattress in the House of Healing. Together, you can cast Gentle Warding Bond, which grants an ally resistance to all damage and +1 to armor class and saving throws. This is perfect to be cast on a frontline character to split the damage with another character. And with items like these rings and the Silver Pendant, which lets you cast Guidance, there are plenty of items that really you could use to replace the need to have a cleric in your party if you really wanted to, which I think is really cool. Finally, at number 9 is Brittle. Brittle is a condition that is caused by hitting a burning enemy with Winter's Breath. While Brittle, the entity takes 2d6 cold damage per turn, but also because they were rapidly cooled while aflame, they have become vulnerable to thunder and bludgeoning damage. Now, this is a condition that probably not a lot of people know about, or maybe even care about, but if you're playing in a party that has a lot of thunder or bludgeoning damage, then you'll want to make enemies brittle as frequently as you can. Particularly Nyrulna does thunder damage, so it could be a pretty strong AoE combo. And the reason you'd want to do that is because vulnerability makes them take twice as much damage when hit by those types of damage, so bludgeoning and thunder, and so it could be a very strong combo. That's my list of 9 cool interactions you might have missed in Baldur's Gate 3. Anything else cool that you've found? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.